Zippity-doo-dah, zippity day. My, oh my, it's a wonderful day. It's also a Friday. It's the 8th day of May, 2020. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up on Wenatchee Valley, and it's down the road we go, and a beautiful stretch of weather is coming our way. Of course, we had a gorgeous day yesterday. It was really nice indeed. Although we only hit 69, which was exactly normal for May 7th. It felt just a little bit warmer than that, and I had a chance to finally get out and play some golf here in north central Washington. I haven't teed it up since February, early February for that matter, and that was down in Arizona. Arizona golf is not necessarily north central Washington golf, but I had a chance to get out yesterday, walk 18 holes of golf out there at the Clock and Ridge Golf Course in beautiful Quincy. Had a good time. It was like getting out of jail. I played terribly, but that wasn't the point. The point was to get out and enjoy a little golf, and it was good. And going to be a good weekend. Golf courses are going to be busy. Area lakes will be busy now that we're back to fishing again, slowly. Again, we talked about this. We're turning the battleship, which takes a long time, as opposed to like a jet ski. It's not going to happen like that. Beautiful weather. Forecast details are coming up. We'll be in the lower 80s, they think, by Saturday and Sunday. They've backed off the temperatures just a little bit. They were thinking maybe a little bit warmer. They're thinking, the overnight low is going to be cooler than they were originally predicting, which means it's going to take a little while longer for us to warm back up in the afternoon. 45 degrees outside of our studios here in downtown Wenatchee, although there's also a little bit of wind in the forecast on Sunday afternoon, which is a bit concerning, especially if any kind of fire gets going on Sunday afternoon. The winds will be picking up, but for the next 2.5, 3 days, we'll be under the influence of high pressure, and we like that. Forecast details are coming up. Lots of news to get to, most of it COVID-19 related, but other items to get to as well. Sports, we finally got the Seahawks schedule. We think when they're going to play. The NFL has built in some contingency plans just in case things don't quite work out the way they want it to. So there's some flexibility, but if everything pans out the way it's supposed to be, we have a Seahawks schedule to talk about when we get to sports. We'll also have the obscure holiday. Everyone is entitled to Mike Minotti's opinion. We got today in history and some celebrity birthdays to pass along to you. I can't wait to see what kind of views we got this morning. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's gorgeous. Let's do it. Let's take you around the valley in north central Washington with our Valley View cameras. Good morning, Valley proper. Sun is up. It's getting the job done. It came up at 5:33 this morning. It will hang around until 8:23 tonight. 14 hours and 50 minutes of daylight. And it's going to be daylight all day, which is what we like. Lots of sunshine. Beautiful view of the Columbia River. Didn't really notice this until we were driving out to the Quincy yesterday. The river is high. Yeah, it's up there. Of course, it is high this time of the year. But I haven't really been down near the river, so I forgot to really take a look-see. But yeah, the river is up on its banks. No question about that. The mighty Columbia. All of these views, of course, courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup. These are cameras that are located on Sky-Fi towers. Camera number 2, Megan's Choice. Where are we off to? We're off to see Orondo Rock, Lake Aniat. Hanging around there. That's a good idea of how high the river is. Some of those rocks are usually a little bit more exposed in those inlets. But no, the river is up. Turtle Rock to your left, Mission Ridge way off into the distance. Can't quite make out Rocky Reach Dam, but this is going to be a great weekend to get out and just get out because it's going to be sunny and warm, but not hot. Probably the nicest weekend of the year so far, all things considered. Great view there. And that camera, by the way, one of the few cameras that's actually not on a Sky-Fi tower. It's a standalone camera. It's also one of the lower cameras that we have, but it gives us a pretty cool view, doesn't it? Camera 3. We say good morning to, that's the top of McNeil Canyon. Is that correct, Megan? So we say hello to Lake Chelan. I talked to a coworker yesterday who spent a couple days up at Lake Chelan earlier in the week. Said, yeah, the lake is low. It's supposed to be low this time of the year. I still find it an amazing engineering feat that they can actually control the level of Lake Chelan, because who's kidding who? It's a big lake. And my guess is Lake Chelan will be pretty busy this weekend as well. With all due apologies to Mayor Getty, who doesn't want the people to come, their people are going to come. That's as simple as that. And the snow continues to recede from the Cascades way off into the distance. Beautiful view there. Good stuff. I like that one. Camera number 4. Are we up to 4 already? Yeah, I was hoping she was going to pick Billy Goat. Thank you, Megan. That's my favorite. You know that by now. That's the Billy Goat camera. Way off in the distance is Canada. If you stand on your tiptoes, you can see Canada anyway. A beautiful view of the Methow flowing into the Columbia, which will eventually flow into the Pacific, which doesn't flow into anything. It looks like there's a spider web on the lens. I'm going to call Sky-Fi. I'm going to call Cody at Sky-Fi and have him climb up in that tower and get that spider web off of there. Does that spider know how high up that is, actually? And where's the food to eat? That's my question. That camera's way up there, about 4,000 feet in the air. If there's I suppose if the spider says, I'm going to build a web here, something's going to fly into it eventually. Great view there. Good morning, Okanagan County. Good to have you on board. Man, I love this stuff. I got one quick slide to show for you, and this is really for you folks out in the Columbia Basin. We have a number of viewers out in the Columbia Basin in the Quincy, Afraid of Moses Lake area. You're going to get a little bit more wind than we will on Sunday afternoon. So out in the Columbia Basin, you're looking at gusts to 30 to 40 miles per hour possible. This is all on Sunday afternoon, a little bit on Saturday, but mostly on Sunday. So when you talk about the warm temperatures, very low relative humidity, and windy conditions on Sunday afternoon, fires can get going real quick, especially Sunday afternoon and right on into Monday. So you folks out in the Columbia Basin, we're going to be a little breezy on Sunday afternoon, but nothing like the basin. They're going to get quite a bit of wind. So the potential for rapid spread of any wildfires are out there. So if you plan on doing any outdoor burning, use common sense. Easier said than done, I know. So just a quick little warning from the National Weather Service. Let's look at your forecast in details. Nothing but sunshine for me. I'm liking this. Forecast high today of about 76 degrees. There's a dry and stable upper level ridge. It's building over the region. It started yesterday. It's going to persist right through the weekend. It's off the Pacific coast. It's moving south to north, which means we got dry and warm conditions. It's going to be pretty dominant for the next 3 days. And then on Sunday afternoon into Monday, a little wave comes in, a little trough. It's going to make the breeze kicks up a little bit. It's going to have a few more high clouds on Sunday afternoon. So we're looking at sunshine today and a high of about 76 degrees. Clear tonight, 52 for the overnight low. Light and variable wind, nothing big-wise, breeze-wise. Saturday, right around 81 degrees. We haven't been into the 80s since September, early September of last year. I wouldn't mind that at all. Saturday night, overnight low of about 54 degrees with just a couple of passing clouds. Again, some light wind. Sunday afternoon, things could get a little interesting. We're going to have quite a bit of sunshine Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, we'll see a few more high clouds as the ridge begins to move further and further to the north. That's going to allow that trough to come in. We'll still top off at about 80, but in the afternoon, we're going to see the wind pick up to about 12 to 17 miles an hour here in the valley proper. And again, out of the Columbia Basin, we're talking sustained winds above 20 with gusts in the 30 to 40 miles an hour range out in the Moses Lake area. Not so much here in the Wenatchee Valley. Clouds will be definitely showing up on Sunday night, overnight low of about 53. Monday, partly sunny, high of about 70, partly cloudy, high of about 76 degrees. We're expecting on Monday, so still mild. It's also going to be a little breezy on Monday. And then things happen again on Tuesday. We got a good chance of rain. We need it. Lots of clouds. We cool back down to below normal. 69 on Tuesday is actually below normal. Our normal high would be right around 70, so not real cool, but cooler. Anyway, 48 for the overnight low with lots of clouds Tuesday night. Wednesday, more clouds, slight chance of light rain, slightly warmer. Highs will be in the lower 70s, partly cloudy skies Thursday, and a high of 71. So lots of sunshine. High pressure will be large and in charge today, tomorrow, and most of Sunday until it breaks down and moves out of alignment on Sunday afternoon. We cloud back up Sunday night and then right on into Monday. But no complaints about the next 3 days. It's going to be mighty fine indeed. All right. And by the way, that forecast comes from Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, who gives your home a hug. It is 9 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break and come back with your Friday morning news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow. We have live bands to rock the night away, comedy to make you laugh, and if that's not enough, we have poker every Monday and Wednesday night. Club Crow in Cashmere has it all. Check out our Facebook event page for dates and times. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today, 509-663-1710.
Nothing but sunshine, 47 degrees outside of our studios at 10 minutes after the hour. Mid-70s today, lower 80s on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a beautiful Mother's Day weekend. Here's what's making headlines. Wenatchee police investigating an apparent arson on the athletic fields at Wenatchee High School. This is believed to be the second such arson at a neighborhood sporting facility in the last month. Firefighters were called to the baseball dugout behind Wenatchee High School shortly after 8 a.m. Wednesday morning. Now, Police Captain Brian Chance set a fire in the dugout, burned up a support post, and scorched the wall panel. It's reminiscent of an April 10th fire police investigated in another dugout at nearby Morris Little League Park. Damage was relatively minor in both cases. Chance says evidence and photos from both scenes, including security footage from Wenatchee High School, are being reviewed. A man in his 60s reported this week in Okanagan County as the second COVID-19 death up north. Okanagan County Public Health said the man died at Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee. He was transferred there in early April when his condition worsened. A 44-year-old Okanagan County woman died at her home back on April 18th. 5 people in Chelan County have died from the virus, 2 in Douglas County and 3 in Grant County. Well, the Town Toyota Center plans to feed a whole bunch of people, some of the community's most essential public servants. It's going to happen later on today. The sports and concert venue will deliver more than 800 lunches to local first responders and healthcare workers as part of a Mother's Day outreach to those helping to manage the COVID-19 pandemic. The general manager of the Town Toyota Center is Mark Miller, and he reached out to its business partners. He said they were hoping to offer about 500 lunches, but response from about 40 donors made 800 boxed meals possible. Town Toyota Center caterers will prepare the meals, and then they're going to be delivered by staff and volunteers to 15 locations, including local hospitals, clinics, fire and police departments, and skilled nursing facilities. The state of Washington has unveiled a new way to keep tabs on the pandemic fighting progress. The online COVID-19 risk assessment dashboard tracks the state's preparedness in 5 categories, including testing capacity, that's where our state still falls short, and overall disease activity, which is this week is low and getting lower. The data used to create the dials is the same as that used to guide progress on the governor's Safe Start reopening plan. You can check out weekly updates to the measurements every Wednesday at the state's main COVID-19 webpage, and that's coronavirus.wa.gov. Wenatchee Civic Leader Steve Maher will join an advisory board to help guide local services when the state recovers from the coronavirus. Maher is the executive director of Our Valley, Our Future. It's a group that's studied economic and housing inequality in our valley since it was founded 5 years ago. Governor Jay Inslee, who appointed Maher to the group, says the new Social Security Advisory Board will help make sure the state's most vulnerable residents aren't left behind in recovery. The team held its first virtual meeting, by the way, yesterday. Maher joined her very own Jefferson Robbins to talk about the mission.
We're going to advise the governor on steps to, both for recovery and then also if there's a second wave, as some people expect, we'll be advising him on that too. There are 3 different recovery or advisory groups. Mine is called social support. The other 2 are economic recovery and healthcare. Approximately 8 to 9 people on each group. There's also a cabinet member who will be sitting in along with the governor in these meetings.
Our social supports group will look at meeting the increasing need for so many basic human services, from food to safe shelter to housing and health care. And they'll look at the recovery that through the lens that addresses the equity, the need to increase rather than decrease equity as we go through this challenge. We know our vulnerable populations have always had stresses, and we want to do everything we can to minimize those in the face of this pandemic.
Why don't you give me sort of a quick digest of what you've been doing with Our Valley, Our Future for the last 5 years?
It's been a lot of organization planning, facilitation. I think one of the big things I've done is continually kick the ball down the field on projects and programs that make up the Our Valley, Our Future action plan. That action plan is meant to basically improve the quality of life for everybody here. I want to say in mid-March, we had several community leaders come to us and say, hey, this pandemic is really starting to have an impact here, but we're not doing a very good job of communicating to our Latino community, particularly our Spanish speakers. So Our Valley, Our Future, with the help of the Community Foundation, the Chamber of Commerce, Columbia Valley Community Health, Confluence Health, we put together what we're calling our Latino Communications Network. It's a group of about, I'd say about 130, we have about 130 now, organizations and individuals who are taking content that we're generating or finding elsewhere that's in both English and Spanish, and we're distributing it to this network of folks who then are passing the word around further within their own networks. And it's been very, very effective.
What do you want to try and bring to the table when you're advising the governor on how to fortify the state against the pandemic or a recurrence of a pandemic?
We've got to be really cognizant of that fact, that we're trying to reach all of those who have been economically or socially impacted by the pandemic. Here in North Central Washington, we've historically had a high poverty rate, low education levels. There's certain things that kind of put us at a disadvantage anyway. And so we've got to be really, really aware of that. One of the things that I'll be bringing to the governor's attention, and I know he knows this, but we've got, I think it's about 48,000 farm workers, in the Chelan, Douglas, Grant County area. I think that's the number. Approximately 30,000 or so live here year round. They're residents. They're coming, and we've also got the H-2A workers coming. And so, as you know, a lot of those folks traditionally work in close proximity to each other. They live in close proximity to each other. That's a big, big issue. And one of the things the Latino Communications Network is going to do, in fact, we're working on that right now, is how to reach these folks beyond the ways we've been doing it so far, which include like infographics and videos, and we've been running radio spots. But we got to do more now. We've got to figure out how to kind of reach some of these folks who, frankly, probably won't be that easy to reach.
The community has responded to Confluence Health's request for homemade masks. They've already donated, as of yesterday afternoon, 1,067 masks. Confluence put out the call last Friday for volunteers to sew 5,000 masks for patients visiting its healthcare facilities. The masks received so far, of course, still well below the goal, but Public Information Officer Clint Strand said Confluence is thrilled with the response so far. Confluence has posted patterns for masks on its website. Go to confluencehealth.com, and they're offering to reimburse people for the cost of the materials. For more information, you can call 436-6275. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office is reopening its public reception areas in both Chelan and Wenatchee next Monday, May 11th. There will be social distancing signage in the lobbies and the hallways. The Sheriff's Office closed its public lobbies back on March 18th. Sheriff Brian Burnett sent a letter to Governor Jay Inslee this week supporting the county commissioner's request to allow Chelan County to move to phase 2 of the governor's phased return to normal operations. The Sheriff's Office does ask that anyone not feeling well postpone their visit to their offices. An Okanagan County couple will get a new trial in their lawsuit against the Rural Electric Co-op they blame for the loss of their home. A fire in 2015 destroyed the property near Omak owned by Edwin Wells and Ann Miner. Now, its cause was traced to equipment owned and maintained by the Nespelem Valley Electric Cooperative. Now, the homeowners filed a lawsuit, but that lawsuit failed when an Okanagan County judge issued a verdict in favor of the co-op, but then the State Court of Appeals on Tuesday said the case should, in fact, have gone to a jury. One more quick item of business I want to get to for you fans of Crescent Bar. You can launch boats today at the Crescent Bar boat launch, and you can park your boat launch parking there. That will happen at noon today, but that's the only thing at Crescent Bar that will be open. This came from the Grant County PUD last night. So the rest of the amenities are not going to be available to the general public. They're trying to keep social distancing as much as possible. And of course, a lot of people like to crowd around the Crescent Bar area during nice weather. So the campground is closed, the beaches are closed, the golf course is closed, the trail is closed, the marina is closed, but the boat launch will open at noon today. So only the boat launch and the boat launch parking lot will open at Crescent Bar, according to the Grant PUD. And that's a look at what's making headlines at 20 minutes after the hour. Grant Olson will have the news for you tonight. The whole team puts the news together, but Grant's the guy who has to sit in front of the camera and deliver the news. And with a preview of your Friday night news, here's the man himself.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, local updates on all things COVID-19. I'll have your unseasonably warm North Central Washington weekend weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will tell you about the Seahawks' upcoming 2020-2021 football schedule. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. Hope to see you then, Dan.
Absolutely. You want to help us out? Cobble together a newscast for us? We love news tips. We'd love to hear from you. You don't get paid, but still, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com. That's our email address. You can go to our Facebook page, like us, and then drop us a line via Facebook Messenger. Or if you go to our website at ncwlife.com, you'll see the Get a Hold of Us icon at the top of your screen. You get a couple of options. You can just drop us a note, push send, and we get it. Or if you have a specific news tip for the news department, you can do that as well. Again, just go to our website at ncwlife.com. As Grant just mentioned, we've known for quite some time who the Seahawks are going to play this year. Now we know when. Seahawks football, when we get to sports, just 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up on Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Chelan County Commissioner Kevin Overbay. I urge all of you to stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe. You can help our community out by urging your friends and relatives from other parts of the Northwest to please stay home. We have a beautiful county with places that people like to visit, but their visits are putting a strain on our resources, our first responders, and our health professionals. Please help us get the message out. We love visitors, but wait until we've gotten through the coronavirus pandemic to come see us. I know that this community will do all that they can to help us get through the coronavirus. Thank you, and be well.
Kelly's Ace Hardware is open and ready to help with all the essential items you need at this time. Curb service and limited delivery available as well. You can always count on Kelly's when the community calls. Mailboxes Chelan provides important services to our community and will continue to do so on new limited hours. Whatever your shipping or receiving needs, Jerry and Sherry are here to help from 9 to 3 weekdays. Green Dot Subs is open for takeout business. All those fabulous sandwiches that people drive miles to get are still available at both locations in Manson and Chelan. Call ahead and they will make one for you.
We are back at 23 minutes after the hour. The NFL came out with their 2020 schedule last night. Seahawks have 4 primetime games, and three of those are at CenturyLink Field. The season is scheduled to begin for Seattle on Sunday, September 13th in Atlanta. Now, again, the NFL has built in some contingencies. There is some flexibility here depending on where we are COVID-19 related by the end of the summer. Then they'll face the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. That'll be in Seattle on September 20th, and then we'll host Dallas on the 27th to wrap up September. October begins on the road. They'll be in Miami on October 4th, and another Sunday Night Football game at home against Minnesota on the 11th. Seattle's bye week is the following week, and then they complete October on October 25th down in Phoenix to take on Arizona. The Seahawks have 5 home games in November because there's 5 Sundays in November. That'll begin on the 1st at CenturyLink Field against the Niners. Then they'll shuffle off to Buffalo and LA to take on the Rams before returning home on the 19th to host the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football. Then they'll wrap up Thanksgiving weekend in Philadelphia on November 30th with a Monday night matchup. Seattle has 3 home games in December. We like that. That's starting December 6th against the Giants, followed by the Jets on the 13th. After a trip to our nation's capital on the 20th, the Hawks will host the Rams on the 27th. The regular season ends January 3rd at San Francisco. The Seahawks already know they've scheduled to spend the month of August playing preseason football games at home, supposedly against the Raiders, on the road against the Texans in Houston, home against the Chargers, and then they finish preseason in Minnesota against the Vikings. Now the dates and the times for the preseason still to be determined if there will be a preseason because of the coronavirus. Seahawks wanted to make sure the schedule release was a special day for 12 important people in the community, so they surprised them with a video message.
What's up? What's up, man? What it do?
Hey, Derek.
Hi, Mr. Mike Winkleman.
This is Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks.
Knew him. Holy crap. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? I see everybody. Melanie, how you doing?
Oh my goodness, hey.
I know that you've been going above and beyond, just being able to help as many people as you possibly can.
Just want to say thank you for everything you've been doing for the community. It's just huge for you to go out your way.
We can't even imagine that how you guys have been so brave.
I know we've been going through a trying time.
Trying to figure everything out day by day.
We just want to thank you and give you some season tickets for this coming year.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
We want to be able to reward you with season tickets this year for the Seahawks games.
Holy smoke. He gets 2 season tickets for the Seahawks this year coming up.
Are you serious?
Of course. Of course.
This is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're in for that?
I can't see your smiles.
I appreciate you guys, man, and keep up the good work too, yo.
I'm speechless. This is like. So what do you think? Season tickets.
A pair of season tickets?
What? Oh my god.
That's like the nicest thing anybody's ever done for me.
That's cool. Of course, if the Cincinnati Bengals did that, the recipients would all be very upset. High school league shuffles have been finalized, of course. The WIAA has completed their reclassification. It's a 4-year cycle, of course. No changes in the Columbia Basin Big Nine. It stays the same. Caribou Trail League and the Central Washington B League, though, some minor changes. Let's take a look. Again, Big Nine, nothing changes really. You got the Davis Pirates, the Eastmont Wildcats, the Eisenhower Cadets, the Moses Lake Chiefs, the Sunnyside Grizzlies, the Wenatchee Panthers, and the West Valley Rams. Now, the Caribou Trail League has a net 0 change. It still has 5 schools, but Quincy is going to drop down from 2A to 1A, and they'll be joining the Caribou Trail League. Okanagan drops from a 1A to a 2B school, and they'll be out of the league. So Okanagan will be joining the Central Washington 2B League alongside Brewster, Bridgeport, Lake Roosevelt, Libertyville, Manson, Soap Lake, Tenasket, and Waterville, Mansfield, and the Central Washington 1B League. Looks the same, hasn't really changed. Cascade Christian, Easton, Antioch, Moses Lake Christian, Pateros, Riverside Christian, and mighty Wilson Creek. And finally, a reminder of the rest of our sports schedule this weekend. We got Apple Sox baseball tonight, 6:30. It's from last July as the Sox hosted the Bellingham Bells. The first of 2 great games of our past will happen on Saturday. Features girls basketball from the North Central Washington Showcase from December of 2017. That was Rogers of Puyallup and Eastmont. You can watch that Saturday at 2 o'clock. At 6:30 Saturday night, you got Eastmont and Sunnyside football from October of 2018. Sunday's doubleheader. We got Eastmont and Wenatchee volleyball from October of 2018 at 2, followed by the Wild and the Vernon Vipers from this year's playoff at 7 o'clock. And finally, fishing reopened in Washington on Tuesday, but with great weather in the forecast, of course, there's going to be a lot of anglers heading for the water this weekend. The Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife is warning anglers you still got to maintain social distancing because they don't want to have to shut down the season because people aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. In an effort to remind anglers of the do's and the don'ts, Addicted Fishing came out with this helpful video.
What's up?
Oh, nothing, dude. Guess what?
What's going on?
Dude, I heard there is a fire bite up north. I got the river. The guy sent me a bunch of messages about it. We got to head up there.
Dude, how far?
It's like 3.5 hours, I think.
Screw it. Full send. We're going.
Let's do it. All right. I'll be over there in a little bit.
On my way.
All right, later.
Oh, hey, you been getting any bites? Oh, yeah, the bluegill bite is fire. Oh, looks like kind of a small pond. You mind if I fish next year? Yeah, come on in, bud.
All right, who's driving?
You do it.
All right, cool. I got it. Let's go. One mob in mind.
Hey, Clint, is that you?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, bud.
Dude, I've been wanting to do this all spring. Little low hole Clint time.
Hey, wait, what? Hey, Marlon, what's going on, What's up, man? dude? Hey, whoa. 6 feet, dude. Keep your distance.
You're right.
Hey, bud, can you give me a ride back to my truck?
Actually, yeah, I guess. You're gonna have to jump in the back, though. Sorry, dude. There's a lot of stuff in there, but we gotta keep our distance. Jump in.
Okay.
It's good stuff. Still, the rules are the rules. You still got to maintain that 6-foot separation. No overnight trips. If you're on a boat, you can fish only with those from your household. If everybody behaves, we can keep right on fishing. And that's a look at sports at 31 minutes after the hour. Just one obscure holiday from my long list of websites that I consult every day. This was a no-brainer. National Coconut Cream Pie Day. I try to avoid the food obscure holidays as much as possible, but sometimes you just can't resist. I got some fun facts about coconuts. First of all, coconuts are not nuts. They're not a fruit. A coconut, believe it or not, is a seed. You go down to the tropics and you see those big coconuts. That's a seed. That's a big seed. Coconut oils accelerate the metabolism. But all that goes away when you put coconuts into a coconut cream pie. It kind of loses its ability to do that. Coconut oils contain 4 growth hormones and also chromosomes that help development of many organisms. And that probably doesn't help either when you take the healthy coconut and turn it into a coconut cream pie. I don't know anybody who doesn't love coconut cream pie. I want one right now. And it's a great standalone, too. You don't have to, you can eat it for dinner. Wouldn't recommend it, but you can eat it for dinner. Happy National Coconut Cream Pie Day. Let's do today in history. Say goodbye to Saint Pierre in the Caribbean. Boom. Wow. Look at that. It was 168, I'm sorry. It was May 18th, 1902. It would be 118 years ago, something like that. In Martinique, in the Caribbean, Mount Pelée erupted. The entire town of Saint Pierre wiped off the map. 30,000 people died, making it the deadliest volcanic eruption of the 20th century. Just a handful of residents survived the blast, and it's still there. Mount Pelée, the famous eruption on this date, May 8th, 1902. 30,000 people, like that. That's a classic photo of Fenway Park before May 8th, 1926. That's the Green Monster that you see. But yeah, they used to have grandstands down the left field wall. They did at Fenway Park. A lot of people don't know that. But on this date, 94 years ago today, May 8th, 1926, there was a fire, a 3-alarm fire at Fenway Park, and it burned down the left field bleachers that you see there. The Red Sox took the insurance money, but they didn't have any money. They had like no dough. And so they took the insurance money from the fire and they used it for operating expenses and payroll and everything, and they just never got around to rebuilding the seating area there, so they just left it be, and now we have the Green Monster. But yeah, there used to be stands there. The fire, 94 years ago today. How about a public health victory? We could use one. This marks the 40th anniversary of the eradication of smallpox. The World Health Organization confirming on May 8th, 1980, smallpox was no more. It had been completely eradicated. Hopefully we can say the same thing about a certain virus in the not-too-distant future. It happened May 8th, 1980. And May 8th, 1984, everybody saw this one coming. 36 years ago, remember, we boycotted the 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow. Of course they're gonna do the same thing. The Soviet Union announcing on this day back in 1984 they weren't going to come to the LA Olympics. 14 other Eastern Bloc countries would follow suit, but China came, the People's Republic of China. They said, we're in. Soviet Union and 13 other countries said, we're not coming. No big surprise there. Happened on this day back in 84. Birthdays, Harry Truman. We always do presidents. He was the 33rd president of the United States. Born in the state in 1884, died the day after Christmas, 1972, at the age of 88. Of course, the only world leader ever to have used a nuclear weapon in war. He desegregated the armed forces. He recognized Israel, helped found the United Nations. He was the only president of the 20th century not to graduate from college. When he left office in January of of 1953, his approval rating was 22%, but he said, "I believe history will be kind to me after I'm long gone," and he was correct. Most historians now rate Harry Truman as one of our finest presidents, certainly one of our top 10 presidents. One of my favorite Harry Truman stories involved his mother-in-law, who was a daughter of the Confederacy. She was born and raised in Kentucky, and even though Kentucky did not secede from the Union during the Civil War, Bess Truman's mom, Harry Truman's mother-in-law, always held a deep resentment to the North, and whenever Harry Truman's mother-in-law would visit the president and her daughter at the White House, she flat out refused to sleep in the Lincoln bedroom because she hated Abraham Lincoln. But Harry Truman was a good son-in-law. He kept his mouth shut. The great Harry Truman, born in this state in 1884. We miss Don Rickles. Don Rickles is always good for a laugh. If I'm not having a very good day, I'll hop on YouTube and type in Don Rickles and watch him do his thing. Mr. Warmth himself, Don Rickles, born in the state in 1926. We lost Don 3 years ago at the age of 90. And the great Rick Nelson would have been 80 years old today. Wow. Rick Nelson placed 53 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. His song, Poor Little Fool, was the very first #1 hit in the history of the Billboard Hot 100 when they created it. 19 top 10 hits, terribly underrated as a musician and as a singer. Rick Nelson, born in the state 80 years ago today. He died in 1985, but the music lives on. Gonna take a break. We got a Mike Mignotti opinion coming your way. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I'm a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Chelan, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
My name is Anaisa Lemus, and I teach at John Newberry Elementary. I had a tooth in the front that was just always causing me problems. It was just happening so regularly. I went to go get a root canal done, and the root canal didn't help a whole lot because then it came back. Both of my parents went to Dr. Divis's office. They really recommended him because he had done such a great job on their teeth. I went and really have had a really pleasant experience with him. He just made me feel really at ease with everything. He was really confident with what he was doing. He said, this is one of his favorite parts of his job, which really made it easier for me because, when you're really passionate about something, they're gonna do a good job. As a teacher, my students, I'll tell them randomly sometimes, oh yeah, with my fake tooth, they're always so shocked. Like, what? It looks like your real tooth. And I'm really happy with the results now.
This is Dr. John Divis. Please call us today.
Hey,
this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I recently was at a school board meeting where a gentleman said that if there were armed guards and metal detectors at schools, we needed to be ready for kids to suffer from PTSD. Now, meaning no disrespect, well, maybe some disrespect. PTSD is caused by suffering a significant sexual assault or a trauma so severe you expect to die. Do we really believe that our high school students are so sensitive, coddled, and overly protected, and naive for that matter, that the idea of passing through a metal detector is going to send them to therapy? This is exactly the kind of senseless hyperbole we need to avoid if we're ever going to have any chance of deterring a school shooting here. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Succession is leading the way for a new generation of Chelan wineries. Named Platinum Winemaker of the Year in 2017 and the one to watch in 2018 by Wine Press, Succession is setting the pace. Award-winning wines are just a part of the overall experience. Add live music on Sundays and fantastic views, and you have it all. Succession Wines, located on the north shore of Lake Chelan between Chelan and Manson.
Mike's Meats and Seafood is open for business. All your favorite items, including ready-to-heat meals, individually packed to your order. Enter at the north door of the Pybus Market from 10 to 6 daily. Fire at the Pybus Market will continue offering to-go, curbside, and delivery services from 12 to 8 p.m. daily. The menu is available on Facebook or online at viscontis.com. All the fresh produce, breads, and many other hard-to-find items are still available at Royal Produce at the Pybus Market. Use the west side entrance and get what you need today.
Since the minute we closed, we have been focused on our responsibility for keeping our teams, our members, and our community safe for when we reopen. So we've been aggressively adopting best-in-class sanitizing technologies, processes, and member guidelines. We're building that into our daily operations right now, and we're calling that Works Member Shield system. It's still going to take each of us to protect all of us, but with Works Member Shield, we think that's possible.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
We're back, starting to climb that temperature ladder. We're now at 49 degrees outside of our studios. If you're just joining us, we'll be in the mid-70s today, right around 75 or 76. Lots of sunshine to lower 80s for a forecast high on Saturday and Sunday. But then Sunday afternoon, late in the afternoon, around 3 or 4 o'clock, that high pressure is going to start breaking down. It's going to start sliding out of positions at the south of us and it's moving to the north up towards British Columbia, and it'll be in Alaska by Monday. And so we are a little concerned about some windy conditions on Sunday afternoon here in the Wenatchee Valley, and quite windy in the Columbia Basin. We'll give you more details in just a couple minutes before we wrap up this program. But we wanted to give you another look at what's making news on this Friday. We start out with Wenatchee Police investigating an apparent arson on the athletic fields at Wenatchee High School. This is believed to be the second such arson at a neighborhood sporting facility in the last month. Firefighters were called to the baseball dugout behind Wenatchee High School shortly after 8 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Police Captain Brian Chance said a fire in the dugout burned up a support post and scorched the wall panel. It's reminiscent of an April 10th fire that police investigated in another dugout in nearby Morris Little League Park. Damage relatively minor in both cases. Chance says evidence and photos from both scenes, including security footage from the high school, are being reviewed. A man in his 60s was reported this week as Okanagan County's second COVID-19 death. Okanagan County Public Health said the man died at Central Washington Hospital here in Wenatchee after being transferred there in early April when his condition worsened. A 44-year-old Okanagan County woman died at her home. That was back on April 18th. 5 people in Chelan County have died from the virus, 2 in Douglas County and 3 in Grant County. The Town Toyota Center is going to feed some people today, a whole bunch of people, some of the community's most essential public servants. It happens later today. The sports and concert venue will deliver more than 800 lunches to local first responders and healthcare workers as part of a Mother's Day outreach to those helping to manage the COVID-19 pandemic. The general manager of the Town Toyota Center, my friend Mark Miller, reached out to business partners. He said he was hoping to offer about 500 lunches, but the response from almost 40 donors made 800 boxed meals possible. TTC caterers will prepare the meals, and they'll be delivered by staff and volunteers to 15 locations, including local hospitals, clinics, fire and police departments, and skilled nursing facilities. The state of Washington has unveiled a new way to keep tabs on fighting the pandemic. The online COVID-19 risk assessment dashboard. It tracks the state's preparedness in 5 categories, including testing capacity, that's where Washington still falls short, and overall disease activity, which is, as of this week, is low and continues to fall. The data used to create the dials is the same as being used to guide progress in the governor's Safe Start reopening plan. And you can check out weekly updates to the measurements every Wednesday. You can go to the state's main COVID-19 webpage. There's a lot of information there. It's coronavirus.wa.gov. Speaking of coronavirus, the community has stepped forward in a big way. Confluence Health, as you know, asked people to make masks and bring them on by, and they have done so. According to Confluence Health, by yesterday afternoon, 1,067 masks have been made and delivered. Confluence Health put out the call 1 week ago today for volunteers to sew 5,000 masks for patients visiting its healthcare facilities. Now, the masks received so far, still well below the goal, obviously, but Public Information Director Clint Strand said Confluence is thrilled with the response thus far. Confluence has posted patterns for masks on its website, confluencehealth.com, and they're offering to reimburse people for the cost of the materials. More information is available. Give them a call, 636-6275. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office will be opening up its public lobby, its reception areas in both Wenatchee and Chelan. This will happen on Monday, May 11th. There will be social distancing signage in the lobbies and the hallways. The Sheriff's Office closed its public lobbies back on March 18th. Sheriff Brian Burnett sent a letter to Governor Jay Inslee this week, of course, supporting County Commissioner's request to allow Chelan County to move to Phase 2 of the governor's phased return to normal operations. The Sheriff's Office is asking that if you're not feeling well, don't come pay them a visit in their office. And an Okanagan County couple will get a new trial in their lawsuit against the Rural Electric Co-op they blame for the loss of their home. The fire back in 2015 destroyed the property near Omak owned by Edwin Wells and Ann Miner. Its cause was traced to equipment owned and maintained by the Nespelem Valley Electric Cooperative. Now, the homeowner's first lawsuit failed. That's when an Okanagan County judge issued a verdict in favor of the co-op. But now the State Court of Appeals earlier in the week said the case should have gone to a jury. One more item. I want to mention this one more time because I didn't, it came in yesterday afternoon, actually yesterday evening. Starting at noon today, May 8th, you can use the boat launch in the boat launch parking area at Crescent Bar. This is a press release from the Grant PUD. The rest of the amenities at Crescent Bar that are down there, you can't use, but because they're worried that the recreation area, which is always very popular, especially once the weather begins to warm up and people want to go out to Crescent Bar and enjoy themselves, they want to avoid attracting a large group of people. So the boat launch and the boat launch parking lot will be open. Nothing else will be opening, so they can maintain safe social distancing. So that means the campground is still closed, the beaches are closed, the golf course is closed, the marina is closed, the trail is closed, the fuel station there for cars and boats also closed. They're going to assess the risk levels and adjust accordingly. For all the other Grant PUD, this is again PUD owned and operated recreational areas, day use amenities only, including boat launches, will also reopen today at noon, but the campgrounds will remain closed. So there's some good news there. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Pass along a smile today. Buy a box of chocolates for a friend or for yourself from Chocolat. Order online and pick up locally, or Chocolat ships almost anywhere. For your cheesy cravings, the Cheesemonger shop is open. Call ahead, stop in, or order online and they will ship. Everyone say Cheesemonger shop. Sage Mountain Natural Foods and Deli in Leavenworth is open for all your nutritional needs, supplements, bulk foods, produce, and more. Call now for more information and hours of operation.
The world around us is constantly changing. Major employers in north central Washington have expressed a need for capable, qualified engineering technologists who can think critically and solve problems. And at Wenatchee Valley College, we listened. We are pleased to offer a Bachelor of Applied Science Engineering Technology degree to provide you with a world of new opportunities. Your time is now. The future is waiting for you.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
This is Caitlin Hedersheet, the producer of the NCW Life magazine. Each week, I'm bringing you a look behind the scenes of the faces, places, and events that make North Central Washington the place we call home. Tune in every weekday for an in-depth look at a new topic each week. From local artists in their studios to businesses breaking barriers that might surprise you and everything in between. Join me on the NCW Life magazine right here on the NCW Life channel.
And we're getting ready to wrap up this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on this 8th day of May, 2020. I am Dan Kuntz. Since it's such a beautiful morning and the sun's been up and about since about 5:30 this morning, we thought we'd take another tour around north central Washington with our cameras, and I just can't believe how beautiful it is. Things are still green out there. It won't last forever. And as I mentioned at the top of the hour, I did not notice until yesterday that the river is kind of high. I haven't been down. I like to go down to the Apple Capital Recreational Loop Trail, but I haven't actually been down there for, I don't know, about 10 days. And so I'm kind of out of the loop, pardon the pun, on how high the Columbia River was. But no, it's up there pretty good. And they have a couple of spill gates open at Rock Island Dam to relieve some of the pressures. But yeah, and it's always high this time of the year. Some years, of course, it's been extremely high with all the tremendous snow melt. We didn't have, of course, a great deal of snow this year. In fact, we're still in a drought. We're 2 inches behind where we should be with rain-wise this year. We need some rain. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll let you know forecast detail-wise here in just a couple minutes. But a gorgeous view of the Wenatchee Valley proper. Great view from our cross camera. Camera number 2, I believe it's the same one, so it's going to be off to the Arrondo Rock camera. Beautiful view of Lake Aniat. And way off in the distance, Mission Ridge. Turtle Rock, of course, is to your left. They call it Turtle Rock because it looks like a giant rock. Good view there of Lake Aniat. My guess is a lot of people will be out and about on boats this weekend with a nice, dry, warm period for the next 3 days anyway, with that upper ridge hanging around. So beautiful view there of the Columbia. That gives you a good idea of how high it is. It's high there at Lake Aniat, right behind Rocky Reach Dam. All of these, of course, views courtesy of Sky-Fi. I think we're off to Lake Chelan, is that right? Up to McNeil Canyon we go. That is an incredible, incredible view. You see Lake Chelan way off in the distance. People will be flocking to Lake Chelan this weekend. Yeah, they're going to be up there hanging around. Of course, the lake is still low. It's still low. So those people who have boats out and about on Lake Chelan this weekend are the people who have docks that are big enough and long enough out in the lake so they can put their boat in, so to speak. Good view of Lake Chelan. Good to see you, folks. We miss you. I haven't been up to Lake Chelan in a while. Got to take care of that. Camera number 4. It's off to Billy Goat. Unbelievable view. Can't quite make it. I guess you can make out the Alta Lake Golf Course down there at the bottom of your screen. I love the Alta Lake Golf Course. I love Gamble Sands, which you can't see because it's tucked behind that ridge there. You can see Brewster. You can make out Brewster. You can make out Mount Kalispell. Unbelievable view of the Okanagan County area from our Billy Goat camera. And that is a perfect example of how Sky-Fi works. It's all line of sight. If you have a house or a cabin and you don't have fiber and you say, I really want high-speed internet, if you can line of sight physically see one of the many, many Sky-Fi towers, and there's about, last I checked, about 85 or 90 of them all over the Wenatchee Valley to the north, out into the Columbia Basin has Sky-Fi towers. If you can see a Sky-Fi tower, and almost all of them are up in upper elevations, if you can see them, you might be eligible for fast internet. Give local tel a call at 888-8888. Good stuff, beautiful views from all over God's country. We're going to take one more break and come back with that all-important weather forecast. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
Mike's Meats and Seafood is open for business. All your favorite items, including ready-to-heat meals, individually packed to your order. Enter at the north door of the Pybus Market from 10 to 6 daily.
Get your yard sign or banner made for your graduating senior today. Order from your local sign company, Color FX in Cashmere. Banners, signs, and more. Call Color FX today. Wheat's Cafe fresh-made breakfast, lunch, and lattes are still available for takeout. Call ahead, order online, or stop on by. Support this local business, Weeds Cafe.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guests for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Yeah.
There he is. Sure wish he was here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Little 4-point. It's a nice coconut.
Solid fish.
Watch the Northwest Outdoorsman with Richie Herod, Saturdays and Sundays at 6 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and 4:30 p.m. on the NCW Life Channel. And we are back. You know, some television stations, they just talk about the weather. But here at the NCW Life Channel, we really talk about the weather. Little concern for you folks out in the Columbia Basin on Sunday afternoon. This could be an issue. The forecast for the Columbia Basin, we're talking Moses Lake out into Quincy, Ephrata, the Potholes Reservoir, which might be very popular. On Sunday, they're looking at some patchy blowing dust and windy conditions. It's not going to be particularly pleasant out in the Columbia Basin, so they are a little concerned with the forecast winds, especially Sunday afternoon into early Monday. Again, this is just out of the Columbia Basin. We're not talking about the Wenatchee Valley. They're a little afraid that warm, dry, and breezy conditions and low relative humidity will mean any wildfires that get going could really get going, could spread rather rapidly. So if you're planning on doing any outdoor burning out in the Columbia, well, anywhere really, but out in the Columbia Basin specifically, here's an idea. Don't do it. You could get in some trouble. Again, this is just for the Columbia Basin. Here for the Wenatchee Valley, our forecast is looking fine. Let's take a look at it. Again, there's a stable upper level ridge. It began building up yesterday. It's going to slowly slide its way up the coast of Washington, which means lots of sunshine today. High of about 76 degrees. This is a light and variable wind. Clear tonight, 52 for the overnight low. We do it again Saturday, high of about 81 degrees. That'll be nice. Sunday, pretty much all day, mostly sunny skies. Then you'll notice Sunday afternoon, a few passing high clouds. The wind will be picking up on Sunday afternoon, and then we'll get a top off about 80. Overnight Sunday night is when the ridge will be completely out of here, and by Monday, even though it's still going to be nice under partly cloudy skies, it will be cooler, and then we talk maybe a little bit of rain, much needed rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's it for us. Have a great Mother's Day weekend. We'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.